gets arrested, it's on the news. It's a lead story.
Yeah.
The people in my world are the top.
All right, now let me ask you something. Did you let them cover the Artie thing?
Yes.
You
in
did.
fact, well, I'll be honest with you. At first, no.
Yeah. It was too hard.
It was too hard.
Yeah.
It was so startling. And I said to the news department, and I rarely, I think Steve will tell you this, maybe 2 or 3 times since we've been on the air, have I ever made a request.
Right.
For some reason, I felt this was such a private matter, and we happened to hear about Artie's suicide attempt, and it hadn't hit the paper, and the family was trying to keep it quiet. They were desperate for some sort of peace. And I said, I don't think we should go on the air with it.
Just leave it alone, right?
As soon as it became mainstream, and because we had access, that's how we knew about it. We wouldn't have had that access otherwise. Right. So it was so sensitive, and Artie is such a good friend, and Artie is such a dear, sweet guy, and I hope he's okay.
Have you talked to him?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
Because I spoke to his sister.
Right.
I put in a little feeler there to see, I have a lot of compassion for that guy. I've read his book and seeing him, and I've been watching a lot of the tapes of you with him, and somebody on the internet made a thing hurt with the song.
Fabulous.
But you know what, Howard, when he started to cry one time and you got up and went over to him, it was heartbreaking to watch it. And, I just hope that he knows that even though it feels to him sometimes that there's no safety net, there is. And there are people who care about him, who love him, and who understand.
Well, yeah, I spoke to him, and it was a difficult conversation because I can't wrap my head around that Artie, my Artie would do this to himself.
That's right.
And Artie is a terrific guy, such a super talented guy, and, he hurt himself, and he tried to check off the planet, and I can't wrap my head around that. I can't even believe it's the same guy I sat there with. And for him to be so sad and to be so in such a low place to do this to himself, this is the real deal. This is.
Did you tell him how it made you feel?
No, I'll tell you the truth. We spoke on the phone, and he was in a facility. It's very hard. He's surrounded by a lot of people when he speaks because the way it's set up, the phone is public. Right. And Artie just, it was tough. I just, hey, Artie, first thing I said, any good-looking girls there? Right. And he's like, these kind of answers. So it was almost like...
probably a lot sedated and stuff.
Yeah, and for 2 minutes, we had a very... I'd say it lasted 2 minutes. Right. It was very awkward. Right. And I hope he'll be okay, and I know his sister and mother are very, very involved, thank God. And as they say, it's a family matter, and they're going to have to figure out what the next step is. And I don't know what it is. When
he gets his stuff together, which I believe he will, he'll be able to come sit right back where he was and hopefully try again. I saw some of the photos of him in that video when he was thin.
He looked great.
I never saw him thin.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he's a talented guy. Go. And it's hard, that kind of. I have depression myself. I know with your mom, you've experienced living with it. It's not an easy thing, but there is another side of it.
But you never tried to kill yourself.
Never, and and thank God I've never really gotten there. But I do understand it.
Have you spent days in bed where you just can't get out of the bed?
Yes, after 9/11.
Right.
When the second tower went down, I fell asleep and I didn't wake up for 2 days.
Wow.
I was unconscious.
That set you off.
That was it. But I was happy and thankful that I was already on antidepressants because 99 Columbine happened. Right. And that's what made me get on them because I couldn't go to work. Wow. I just would cry unstoppable, So I understand it, and I understand.
Then don't go see Avatar. I understand.
I saw Avatar.
People are in depression because Avatar's not real. They all want to go to that Navia.
Well, you know what's so weird about it? Have you